Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be doing a general read surrounding the full moon coming up here on Monday. Today is Saturday, the 15th, and so we have a full moon coming up on Monday the 17th of June, and you should be able to feel the energies kind of coming in to that day. But the full moon won't actually be until Monday morning, sometime mid-morning, and so you'll be able to fully see it Monday night. And so I'm going to do a general read for the collective, for the energies surrounding what's kind of been playing out, which energies have been leading up to the full moon, and then kind of the energy surrounding the weekend and kind of leaving the full moon. So I'm going to start off with my unicorn deck. Still one of my favorite decks and my very first deck that I ever got. So we're going to start off with a few cards here for the general energies surrounding the full moon. I still need to order and get a stand so that I can do these videos horizontally instead of vertically. I had a good friend recommend that, and I totally agree. So that's coming in the near future. But for now, I couldn't wait, so I felt guided to do this message. So here we go. General energies surrounding the full moon. Polarity, nature, and past lives. So, the three cards that came up. Polarity. There's a little glare on there. It says, integrate your shadow side. There can be no light without the dark. Understand the law of polarity. So it's kind of like the law of opposites. I'll kind of tie all of these cards together because I'm getting a general feeling for where they're going with this. Nature. If you can see that. It says, ground yourself, find a sanctuary in nature, and connect with the elementals. It could mean connect with the elements. The next card for the general energy is past lives. Release your past life karma. You're an old soul with deep wisdom, and healing your past lives will raise your vibration. So we know that everything in the universe, in the physical plane, comes about from a vibration. You know, what you put out, you actually get back, and it's a scientific fact as well. So what I'm kind of getting from this, I'm actually going to put these up. Let's see if you can see. Put this one here. Polarity, nature, and past lives. So what I'm kind of getting from this is that, you know, without knowing where we've been, this darkness, it's hard to know. You wouldn't know what light is unless you had been in the dark. You wouldn't know the difference. And I think that the energy surrounding this full moon is like releasing past things, you know, for those of you that believe in reincarnation, you know, past lives. Could even be stuff that you've done in this lifetime, releasing your karma from the past, forgiving yourself for things that you thought you may have done. You know, by releasing the old, you welcome in the new, and that seems to be a theme going on these last few months, actually. And the whole this nature thing, ground yourself, that's really important. I know as we've experienced these energy shifts, some of you probably know what I'm talking about. Just feeling these shifts come about where you feel really high one moment, and then, you know, soon after, you may feel this really super low where you just want to crawl back in bed. You know, ground yourself. I'm going to do a meditation video soon, and so I'm going to kind of go over that and what that means to ground yourself. But just being outside is a major step in that direction. So if you can go outside, you know, sit on a blanket, sit on the grass, be around trees, be around water, you know, go to the beach, go to a lake, a river, a pool, you know, surround yourself with animals, that kind of thing. Basically connecting with the elements, letting the sun give you energy. The sun is literally our life force, and so we need that energy, and especially before like 10 a.m. and after 4 p.m. it's really good to go out and get natural sunlight, or even be out in the moon, you know, the full moon. It's a good time to be out, to be outside, you know, and just absorb that energy from the moon, because we do get energy from the moon. You know, it influences the tides of the ocean, and I know I've said this before, but our bodies are made up of mostly water, so I know that our bodies and our spirits are influenced by the moon as well. So general energy for the weekend and for this full moon energy, you know, spending time outside, grounding yourself to the earth. You can sit quietly wherever you're at, even like in your bed. I know that's where I do most of my meditating, because I get distracted by bugs and stuff and squirrels and things like that. But I'll sit in my bed and meditate, and one of the first things that I do when I start is ground myself, and I picture this ball of light at the base of my spine, kind of like as where you're sitting, like where your tailbone would be. And I picture this big swirling ball of light, like this divine energy, and I picture it moving through my legs and out the bottoms of my feet, and then connecting to the center of the earth, like beams of light, like gently falling down to the center of the earth. And then I also will imagine that coming up to my heart center, and then radiating out the top of my crown chakra, or the top of my head, and a divine cord of light coming down and connecting all the way through my body. So it's like being connected to heaven and earth at the same time, within and without, as within, so without. And that's a message that I keep getting here lately, as within, so without. And then everything kind of comes together and meets up in the heart center. So, let's see. So I got this this new deck. It's fairly new. It's a mermaid deck. It's one of my new favorite decks, but I don't think I've used it on a reading before, other than for myself and a few friends. I don't think I've used it on a video yet, so, but it's more of a traditional tarot deck. Okay, I just have to say this. So the Wheel of Fortune is something that I've been getting, and when I shuffle the deck to clear out the energy of it, I cut it just like this, and the Wheel of Fortune popped up, and I thought, that's interesting. And here it is again, as I'm cutting it to shuffle, the Wheel of Fortune comes up. So it's kind of interesting. Wheel of Fortune is like energy's turning, and it's a good thing for sure. You know, it's like to me it's like a divine, I don't even know if I want to say intervention, but possibly it's like a good energy coming about, and nothing stays the same, you know, except for love, true love, real love, like divine love, unconditional. It's like, you know, nothing stays the same. Things that may appear to be not good or not rosy right now, they will change for the better. you know, and everything happens in cycles. So, let's see. 9 of Wands. 4 of Cups. 3 of Cups. 1 more. 8 of Swords. I'm gonna have to get my book out on a couple of these cards. So, I do know for the 4 of Cups, it's kind of, if you can see on the card right here. Well, okay, so my elbow just knocked this card off the top of the deck, Justice. And so I feel like that's a message as well, and so I'm going to leave that one here as part of the reading. It's something that's been coming up when I've watched some other readings for the month of June, so we'll kind of go into that a little bit as well. So, move these here. So the 4 of Cups, if you can see on the picture here, you've got this man who is, so you can see it, he's got this bottle of whatever he's drinking, and he's basically been, you know, drinking a lot, and he looks like he's kind of in his sorrows a little bit, and he's got these 3 cups in front of him, and there's this woman or mermaid behind him holding this cup, and he is so focused on, you know, these cups, basically like cups of love or cups of energy being empty, that he doesn't see what's behind him. He doesn't see that there's actually a cup of love there waiting for him, and he hasn't seen it yet. All he needs to do is just notice that it's there, because it's already there. It's just a matter of tapping into that energy and arriving at it and meeting it. Okay, I just had a low battery thing, so I'm not sure if all of that came out or if it blanked out for a second. I had a low battery message. But anyways, this is a really good card of, you know, there is something kind of coming about and in the waits for you, and it's a matter of just being aware of your surroundings, because it could be right there in front of you, or in this case it's right behind him. He just needs to see it. And to me, the 3 of Cups is like to me it's like a celebration or a party. It's like once you this 4 of Cups, it's like once you see what's there in front of you, the potential of this is like a celebration of it. You know, all your cups are full. It's like cups of love. So that's a really good card. I need to get my book out for the 9 of Wands, so you can see this guy. It's a little glary, but you can see this guy. 9 of Wands. He's got his wand in his hand, and he's got like eight wands all lit up around him, and he's lighting the 9th one. Let me see what I love this book, by the way. It's like a big glossy book, and it's very bright pictures, and I love it. So 9 of Wands. Let's see. Swords. Where are my wands at? Wands. The wands are really good cards too, or really good signs. Let's see. So this card kind of symbolizes, hold it up so you can see it again. This card kind of symbolizes walking the path of awareness and keeping the body and mind calm, but also being aware of the ever-moving conditions around you. So you know, and that seems to be a general theme for me as well right now. It's like, you know, there might be chaos going on around me, or maybe I'm just really busy and, you know, I'd like to be walking in the woods or meditating, but, you know, maybe I'm in a building all day, or, you know, um, just really, really busy. So, you know, finding peace on the inside and being calm regardless of, as this says, the ever-moving conditions around you. Let's see. So, and this card did come in upside down when it first came out of the deck. I don't typically read reversals. Like if the card comes in, it's, you know, it means like the opposite of what it actually is. But in this case, it kind of stuck out at me that it did come in upside down. So I'm going to read the reversal of it, and then I'm also going to let you know what the upright is. So it says that there is a darker side to the card, but that's not a bad thing. Almost like being, like brooding and being unhappy with the conditions that you find yourself in. The problem is that creative energy is unpredictable, it's ever-changing, and never rational. You may not like your current conditions, but you created them. This is actually good news, because now you can also change what you need to change. But only if you can stop brooding and blaming the world for 5 seconds. That's what it says. So, you know, having the opposite of this, having strength, having patience. You have to know how to ride the energy when it flows, and how to get into the vibration of it when it's calm and quiet. There's a balance that takes place in this card that is not always obvious, but simply knowing it's something you should be aware of will assist you all the same, you know. Yeah, be calm on the inside, and know that, you know, nobody's gonna come along and save us, right? Like we have to show up and save ourselves. You know, notice what's going on around you, because there may be something right in front of you that you don't see yet, but when you do, you know, this 3 of Cups, this celebration comes about, which is pretty sweet. This is a really good card, 3 of Cups. The 8 of Swords here, I'm going to look that up as well, because I feel like, well, let's see what it says, and then I'll... 8 of Swords. Let's see. It says, looks can be deceiving, and one never knows what's hidden just beyond the frames of the scene. It says, you must be more than the limitations of your circumstances. Our mermaid does not appear, let's see, she does appear limited by her circumstances. You can see she's basically tied to this stake, and she's got, let's see, does she have all 8 around her? Looks like she's got 7 swords. She's got 7 swords all around her, and she's got the 8th sword in her mouth. So she's tied to this stake, right? So it says, our mermaid does appear limited by her circumstances, but in order for her to expand and grow, perhaps this is the point. So feeling, you know, this is really true for me too, because there's certain circumstances in my life personally that, you know, there's like a stuck energy, and I feel like there are some things that if I'm really going with the flow, it's beyond my control, and that's totally okay, and I think that that's the lesson. This says, it's time to stop your excuses and move beyond your perceived limitations. Growth means digging deeper, finding new ways to solve current problems, and knowing when to be still, seemingly taking no action at all. What seems like a weakness is actually your biggest asset in this particular circumstance. Use it to your advantage and advance. That's super interesting. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, I'm just getting the feeling of like surrounding the full moon and even going further into June. Looking at your circumstances, you know, coming out of this energy of feeling like you have lack or like there's a huge problem, and realizing that internally your problems are already solved. There's nothing we actually have to do or go get. If you find that peace on the inside, in turn everything on the outside shifts. And that's a message I was just telling somebody about yesterday. And it's interesting, this anytime I do a reading, I feel like I'm getting the message for myself as well. And you know, I guess I am part of that collective, so that makes sense. But yeah, as we're moving out of that energy, being aware that we probably have the solutions within us, or we do, of course, have the solutions. And you know, that brings us into the Three of Cups, celebration energy, you know, coming together. And you know, it's like the eighth sword she's got it in her mouth. It's like there's a solution to everything, you know. And then the last card that pops out with that is Justice, and which is I think it's a major arcana. Let me look at the book on this real quick. Justice. Let's see. So it talks about an element of karmic justice, something that has long been sought and will long be felt, or an outcome that will benefit all over the long term. You know, it's like these changes that we're making right now. It's like we're at a crossroads almost, and we can choose the light, and it's like we're being helped. You know, if we choose the light, and that's just within ourselves, if that's something that we want, you're going to be helped. So, let's see. When the scales offer us a chance to learn something important, we should take notice. The information being presented to you right now will not only benefit you where you are, but also may prove useful wherever you find yourself in the future. I think the changes that we create right now are really going to be of benefit for later, far in the future as well. It says the past cannot be changed. Your future is being forged right now in front of the scales of karmic balance. Think carefully about what kind of world you want to live in once the problem or situation has finally been dealt with. Yeah, it's like, you know, what you put out there, you're gonna get back. You know, other cards of karma, you know, past lives or past things you may have done in the past, you know, forgiveness, realizing that everything happens perfectly the way that it's supposed to, and we might not understand the reasons for it in this lifetime, but there is a reason for everything, you know, there are no accidents. I'm being told to get a couple more cards from this particular deck. King of Wands, that's a good, powerful card. One more from the top. Nine of Swords, so from the Eight of Swords to the Nine of Swords. And Temperance from the bottom of the deck. Someone told me to look at the bottom of the deck. So Temperance, that's a card that keeps coming up in readings for right now as well. Let me move this here. King of Wands, Nine of Swords, Temperance. So I'm gonna refer to back to the book on this. King of Wands. So this says, let's see, where are you at? It's King of Wands. So the King of Wands reminds us that power comes with great responsibility, and that your place at the top is only as firm as your dedication to lead with commitment and honor. He understands that his strength is not just from him alone, but for all who fall under his protection and guidance. Being a leader is not easy, and being one with great power is even harder still. However, despite his serious nature and commitment to the betterment of his realm, I'll bring this back up again so you can see it. He will also act instantly and without hesitation. The King of Wands is a doer, not a dreamer, and his boundless energy serves his duties as well. Yeah, that's a really good energy, King of Wands. He's like in charge of himself and knows that what he's doing is not only going to benefit himself, but others as well. So it's a good card too. Let's see. 9 of Swords. Let's see. This to me is a card about choices. You know, it looks, you've got this mermaid like trying to crawl up, and you've got somebody up top trying to block out the noise. And this person up top knows that they can't sustain this if choices have to be made. Sorry, I didn't mean to make that crooked here. It says, conditions right now might be less than desirable. You could even say they are keeping you up all night, or keeping you up at night. Everyone and everything are demanding space inside your head, and it's becoming overwhelming. Exhaustion and despair are often the symptoms of overwhelm and stress. Perhaps like our researcher, you need to make some other choices. The researcher, that's the person on top here. Perhaps, like them, you need to make some other choices about who and what can pitch a tent inside your head. Set some clear boundaries and decide to take it one day at a time. That's solid advice. Yeah, and then the Temperance. That's a major arcana. So it's a really pretty card too. She's got like this rainbow and a shell in her hand. Let's see. Okay, and so there is an eclipse coming up, a solar eclipse, or let's see, summer solstice on June, I want to say 21st, 22nd, or 21st or 20th, don't quote me on that, but I know that we have an eclipse coming up soon. So the first words on this page says, under the power of the solar eclipse, the potion's master mixes her most powerful potion yet. I feel like this is a time of pretty big change as far as planetary shifts are going. Like, people are waking up, and I feel like this full moon that is about to happen and going into the eclipse coming up later in June, I feel like it's some major energy shifts and things coming out to be cleared out. Past lives, you know, the light and the darkness being cleared out, you know, making choices, coming out of the 9 of Swords energy, you know, and coming out of the 8 of Swords energy and realizing that you have the power within yourself to change things for the better and make the right choices and focus on what it is that you really want, you know. What is it that you want to create in your life? Because now is a really powerful time for manifestation. Let's see what else this deck says. Let's see. So this talks about still being in the process of the act of doing, of blending and balancing, so that things aren't quite complete yet. Temperance finds herself in such an interesting position in the major arcana, and it's her position that is key to understanding her full power. Temperance sits between sits between death and the devil, a bridge between the old self and the new. That's interesting too, because that's a theme I was just talking to somebody about yesterday, is the bridge. And to me that means being a bridge between this 3D world, like spirit, and this life we're living. Like, we're a spiritual being having a physical experience, you know. So it's, let's see, so a bridge between the old self and the new, you know. And as I was saying earlier, you know, the polarity thing surrounding this full moon energy, the polarity, how do you know what the light looks like unless you've already experienced the dark, you know? You know, for something new to grow, something old must die. And that's a theme, like I said, that I've been getting for a couple months here too. Says, she receives you after your ego has passed through death's door. So it's like an ego death, right? Realizing what no longer serves you anymore. Shows you the possibilities of what life could be like by introducing you to the devil. The devil is not a bad card. That's a, let's see, it is not her place to cast judgment or to even make suggestions for how you should proceed from this point forward. If anything, temperance is more interested in showing, not telling. For this reason, it's so important to pay close attention to everything she does while you're in her presence. Watch how she creates. When you watch, maybe you will not be as tempted when she hands you over to the next, when she hands you over to the step that comes next. So, you know, to me, this is an idea that, like, things are lining up, you know, and we have choices to make. You know, what is it that you want to create in your life? Focus on that. It's a good message. I'm gonna move these up here, and then let's see. I do want to do. This is a new deck that I received for my birthday last month. It's messages from your angels, and it's Doreen Virtue. I love this deck. It's one of my favorite decks. It's really pretty, really glossy. So get some cards here for some general advice of like what kind of help we're being given surrounding the full moon energy. Oh, I forgot. Shuffling. I want to shuffle on camera, not off of camera. As I had a friend remind me. Sometimes the cards just jump out at me. Sometimes I get told to stop shuffling. Oh, I just had a low battery thing again. I don't know if that was still recording, but you didn't miss really anything. Oceana. That's a good one. Desiree. Teresa. Let's see. These are new ones to come up. I don't think I've had a couple of these come up for myself. And then on the bottom of the deck you have Zana. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. So let's see. Oceana says, take action. You're in touch with your truth in this situation, and you need to trust your gut and lovingly assert yourself. And this message from Desiree too, it's talking about how there may be conditions in your life that are not favorable right now. And if you don't know what the right decision is, wait and weigh your options. Look into other options and ask the angels to help you, guide you, and comfort you. Let's see, Teresa says, time out. You've been so busy taking care of everyone else's needs that now it's time to stop and take care of yourself. That's really important. You know, meditate, spend some time outside, do some nice things for yourself, you know, take care of yourself, eat some clean food, you know, maybe work out a little bit or as much as you want to. Take care of yourself. Zana, yeah, I don't know if I'm saying that right, says, you're protected from all types of harm. The worst is now behind you, and I ask you to relax and feel safe. That's a really good message too. And I do feel like that. I feel like there's some dark times behind us, and we're kind of coming out into the light, you know, and into this energy. So, but actually, I kind of want to read Zana. I kind of want to see what the book has to say on that. It says, no matter what has happened in your past, your present, and future are now safely protected by angels. I'm helping you to heal from past upsets or trauma. I'm helping you to heal your heart of worry or fear. I'm here to help you release any self-sabotaging thoughts or behavior. I'm here, in other words, to help you enjoy a renewed sense of safety and peace of mind. The other angels and I stand guard around you, your home, your family, your vehicles, and your workplace. You can rest assured that no lower energies can permeate our protective field. I do feel like that. Like, I feel like we're getting help, and I feel like I'm receiving guidance daily. We only allow the energy of love to enter wherever you or your loved ones reside. All expressions of fear are transmuted back to the field of illusions from whence they came. God and the angels ask that you relax and enjoy yourself, for your happiness brings a smile to heaven. And that's true too. I mean, there's, when you're in joy or enjoying things, you know, you're actually raising the vibration of the planet, so and everybody on it. So, you know, do something that brings you joy, have some fun, you know, spend some time with family or loved ones, or do something nice for yourself, you know, maybe cook a nice meal, or take care of the garden, or, you know, meditate, go outside, do some swimming, maybe do a painting, or dance, listen to some music, make some music, you know, whatever it is that brings you joy, do that. And then got my butterfly deck, and it's so shiny. It's also one of my favorite decks here. Cut, and then I'm gonna get some energy for kind of coming out of the just the energy surrounding coming out of the full moon. I think I'm also gonna do a collective general read for the remaining of the month of June and kind of going into the next month. So this is for the energies coming out of the full moon, leaving. Okay. To me, that's I had this come up in one of my family members' readings as well. Leaving, to me, that feels like we're leaving some energy behind, stepping out of this, you know, 8 of Swords energy or 9 of Swords energy, and we're coming into the 3 of Cups energy, temperance, justice, sobriety. You know, and this doesn't just mean, I'm actually going to read the deck on that, or read the book for a minute, but it doesn't actually have to be refraining from alcohol. It just means being of sober mind, recognizing what's going on around you, and being kind of like sober internally, you know. And then I've got self-employment. So if you're, I will say this is really coming to mind kind of strong, is if you're thinking about starting a spiritually based practice, or starting any kind of self-employment, or maybe something on the side, now is a really good time to start it. Doesn't mean you have to quit your day job, but it's a good opportunity right now, very strong energies about, to manifest things. So if there's something you're thinking about doing that is heart-centered for you, brings you joy, it's creative, you know, do that. I feel like we're being strongly guided right now to lift up the world in creative ways. So that's a good message right there too. And then on the bottom of the deck, I'm getting adult children, and this is something that kind of keeps popping up in some of the readings. And there's several reasons behind it. Bless you. That's my roommate. So if you hear any background noises, it's probably my roommate. She just sneezed. Maybe she's allergic to my incense. Probably not. So this card, adult children, can literally mean adult children. Like maybe you have an adult child that's moved away from home, is getting married, is off at college, or with other family members. That's what this book literally said. I'm reading out of the book. And it's talking about parenting roles shifting, and maybe there's a void that needs to be filled with new meaningful projects and activities. In some cases, this card shows that you are the once child and you're now grown, or perhaps your family still sees you as a child or adolescent. To me, this is kind of like the collective. Like we've been playing with these basic blocks, right? Like we've been very basic, very 3D, very body oriented, and it's like we're growing up and raising our consciousness, and the planet is waking up. So many people are waking up and realizing that there's more to life, that we have an opportunity to be happy and create what we actually want in our lives. For me, this is almost like graduating to the next step and taking charge of our lives. But for some people, this can mean also a very literal thing. Like I said, this is a general collective reading, so it's, you know, could be different for everybody, or it will be different for everybody. Yeah. So that's a good read as well. All right, guys. Well, I hope this resonated with you. If it did, give it a like, give it a share, subscribe to my channel. I also do personal readings, and I'll have that link posted below. Just shoot me an email. I also have my blog posted below, so click on that if you have a couple minutes to read. And I feel like there's something else that I was gonna mention. Oh, and then look for, coming up soon, I'll be doing another general reading. The plan is to do that reading for the general collective for the remainder of June. And I may even start breaking it down into, time seems to be a little short right now, so I may do some general signs like water sign reading, you know, air sign, fire sign, earth sign reading, instead of just, you know, Pisces reading or Taurus reading kind of thing. So we'll see what I'm guided to do, and that's it. Light and love. Have a great day.